But first, an intriguing tale of Bert, who was forced into early retirement through ill health and whose grandchildren have given him the inspiration to come up with a very clever invention that busy mums are going mad for. It's called the Bertie. He's Bert Fairclough, and he's here today with his daughter Susan and his grandchildren Mark and Sarah and the Bertie. There it is. It's wonderful. So let's have a close look at it, Bert, because obviously the canny thing here is that your toddler can be transported around at the same time as your smaller one. So if you can wheedle it round and show us. That's the clever bit at the back, isn't it?
That's good, chap. Yes, what I've done is to take a single pushchair, an ordinary size pushchair, size-wise, and build the geometry of it to allow a small carrying platform to go on the back. And this means that my daughter, who had a terrible problem with two kids shopping, going to doctors, hospitals, etc., the little fella can simply stand on himself, as you saw. When he's not on there, then the shopping bag goes on.
Oh, that's a very clever idea.
So becomes the pushchair and shopping trolley,
right?
Or tandem pushchair for larger children, or a single pushchair for one child.
Oh, that's brilliant. Our Mark, our model, has had a walk off there. Do you want to go back on, Mark, and show us what it looks like when he's standing on it? Tantrums in the modelling department. So come back and sit down, Bert, and tell us how this whole thing came about, because as we mentioned at the beginning, it was actually through ill health, wasn't it? You had to retire early.
Yes, I did. I got into terrible trouble with stress, which luckily was found, and I just had to pack up. It was as simple as that, which left me very little to do. And when Sue had her problems of getting the little boy to hospital because of his eyes, I had time. Which I'd never had for 40 years. I've never had time. Consequently, you saw the problem and thought, well, I'll try and do something about it.
Because you were an engineer by trade, so you're presumably used to building things. You had those kind of skills then.
Yes.
And Sue, I suppose you were the kind of expert technical advisor then, weren't you?
Well, that's right. I mean, every time I went round there, it was, oh, can you just try this? And is the handle too high? Or, you know, can you pace nicely without catching your feet? And yes, it was quite a juggle, wasn't it, really?
Because it was really from your problems in the first place that the whole idea came,
well,
wasn't
that's right, yes, yes. Mainly, I mean, you can keep both children dry. The rain cover goes right over Mark at the back as well.
Right, we've got a picture of the rain cover, actually, because it's got all various attachments. And so I suppose what happens when it rains is normally that your little one keeps dry under one of these, but under a normal pram, your toddler gets soaking.
But that's right, yes, yes, it's ideal, yeah.
That's wonderful. And we can also see the other attachment, actually, while we're looking at these, because you showed us the shopping bag, which is a great idea, isn't it, if you're just on your own? Because normally if you have to carry bags as well, I should imagine that's quite a headache.
That's right, yes. If Mark's dropped at school, you can go and do your shopping and fill it right up, and yes, it's just the job, yeah.
What sort of reaction have you had? Because I know obviously you've been wheeling around the prototypes.
Well, that's right. I have been stopped quite a few times, actually. I was in the post office a while ago, and I had the bag on the back because Mark was at school, and two ladies behind me in the mile-long queue, like it is in the post office, they said, oh, look at that, you know, you get lots of shopping in there. I bet that was designed by a woman, and I had to laugh to myself.
Really?
Just let it go. But then the other one said, mind you, I bet it'd tip when it was full up. And I thought, I can't let that one go. So I had to say, no, my dad designed it, and no, it won't tip. And it's actually for my little boy to ride on as well.
But it's a big leap, isn't it, between having an invention, having a good idea, and actually manufacturing it. I mean, did you find it difficult persuading the men in suits to actually get this off the ground?
Impossible in the UK. I went to all the big pram manufacturers who basically said to me, oh, it can't be done, you know, you can't do that. And I just couldn't convince them that it wasn't a child hanging on the back. It was designed for it. And anyway, I got nowhere, and I've just searched for pram people, and fortunately I met Wacky Riders of Uxbridge, you know, a young company. Their wives have got young children, and they just took one look at it and said, my God. The next thing, I was on a plane to Taiwan. And international pram manufacturers said, we'll have it. and it's just exploded on me, you know.
So this is going to be available in our shops?
In August.
In August?
Yes.
So you're going to be a rich man, aren't you?
Well, the children are. Actually, I've given the patent to my grandchildren.
Oh, Mark, a few more years. I think I might want to marry you then. That's brilliant. Well, it's a fantastic story, and especially, you know, out of adversity, to actually come up with something like this and make it work is wonderful. I'm sure there's lots of mums out there who'll be very pleased that you have. Sarah's now been handed over to Dad.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
A TV debut hasn't gone exactly marvellously, but thank you very much indeed for coming in and chatting to us.
Thank you for having us on.